Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are here to Savor Life with Diana, live today from Honolulu, Hawaii. She is an author, life coach, speaker, and so much more. She's helping so many really transform their lives. So, welcome back to the show today, Diana Bejasa, joining us live. How are you, darling?
Oh, I got some rest this past weekend. I needed it.
You
Friday
look
was
great.
a lot of fun, but with the 4th of July, but I needed some rest after that. So yesterday I took like a 4-hour nap. It was great.
Good for you. Who was watching Oliver? She slept too.
She slept.
God bless. Oh my gosh, I don't remember those days. Yeah, mine a little too big now, but oh my goodness, good for you. Good for you. Well deserved, right? And I know we're
Yeah.
going to mention a little bit about being tired in our show today. Because as you say, I got this, the hidden cost of being the strong one comes with some tired days, I'm sure. But for those new timers, tell us a little bit about what you do, Diana, if they are new to the show. And did you get your hair cut?
I
It's
did. I got it
pretty.
cut a
Maybe I
couple
didn't
of weeks
notice it.
ago.
Cool. It
Yeah.
looks pretty.
Yeah, thanks. So what I do is I help high performers who want it all and feel like it's been costing them their health, their sanity, or their relationships. And they realize that they don't want to give those things up, but they also know that they don't want to give up their professional ambitions. And I help them achieve even more than they've ever achieved without sacrificing any of the stuff that matters most to them.
Perfect. And for today, what is our topic?
We are talking about being the strong one and being the person who's always got this and what that ultimately costs us.
All right, where do we begin? Because all of us, I think, are always on the go, always so busy, always so into ourselves. And, we're going to do this. I got this. And it's like we feel bad asking for help. And I'm one of those people. I don't ask for help and explain this concept.
Yeah, so what I find is that you probably are asking for help, but you're not actually asking for the help that you deeply desire or need, right? So like you may be asking for help with delegating tasks or like handling logistics or things like that. But the strong one has a much harder time asking for help with the emotional load that they carry. Right? It's like you know how to make a meal plan, run a team, delegate, fix a spreadsheet, but it's so much harder to just be like, can you just sit with me for a minute and like let me fall apart for a second? And even just that idea of like letting somebody see us fall apart a little bit or like hold us while we fall apart feels terrifying, right? Like it's much easier for us to ask for help so that like with a functioning, right? So that we can keep going and doing all the things instead of actually asking for help that allows for us to feel, right? And there are reasons behind that I want to get into today is like what is it that's so scary but at the same time so desired about being held, right? Like we want somebody to take care of us, but we don't even give anybody the opportunity to take care of us. We want somebody who will handle things, but we don't let go of the stuff so that somebody else can handle it, right? So when that happens, somebody who could handle it for us, who could hold us, who could help us, they see that we've got it and they're like, okay, I'll just let you run, right? Because like you're not showing them that you
Yeah.
actually or you're not even asking for it. So it's not even that we're asking for somebody to fix us, right? We're not asking for somebody to
Mm-mm.
fix all the things that are wrong. We just want somebody who we can actually presence like, yeah, this is hard without them just telling us, "Oh, well, you're so strong, you can do it." Like I don't know how many times it's been that I've been like I don't know if I can, I don't know if I'm really doing this single mom thing. I like people tell me sometimes they're like, it looks so, you make it look so easy. And I'm like, none of it's easy. And like, in many ways, I'm holding it together with like tape and string. And they're like, oh, well, you make it look easy. Or like, oh, you're doing it, you're doing so well. And like, that's also not the feedback or the encouragement that somebody who is strong needs for you to share with them, right? Like what we're really looking for is for somebody to be like, yeah, I hear you. Not to like cover up the vulnerability we are trying to share, but for somebody who can actually stand there with us and say like, and acknowledge how hard what we're doing is. But sometimes we just don't even know how to ask for that. And that is a thing that I think we need to start looking at is like, where can I actually begin to ask for the support I need? Where can I begin to stop saying like, yeah, I got this, and start saying like, you know what, like I just need to fall apart for a second. I need you to hold this for a second. Um, and allow for that to happen. And like, even if it makes other people uncomfortable, allow for ourselves to receive what we need. Because yeah, the load we carry is heavy. And there's really no other opportunity for somebody to recognize how heavy it is until we give it up for a minute, until we let somebody hold it and see like, yeah, that is heavy. And it's kind of one of those things that once you do that too, just even that mini rest of like letting go of something that's been so heavy for you, it actually rejuvenates you. It gives you that chance to not burn out, to feel like, okay, I can keep going because you got a little bit of a reprieve. You got a little bit of relief. I don't remember what it comes from. You know, a lot of times with personal development things, I feel like, you know, they get replicated in many different ways, but there's this philosophy that like if you're holding a glass, the glass might not be that heavy. But if you're holding this, right, and if, it's one thing to hold it for like a couple seconds, but if you were holding it for a full hour, the weight of it feels even heavier.
Yeah.
And if you were to hold it for a full day and never put it down, it would feel like arm breaking. And many of us, the strong ones, many of us high performers, high achievers who are used to getting everything done and handling everything, we've been holding on to things that might not be that heavy, but we've been holding on to them for years, for
Yeah.
decades. And so that weight, if you just think of like this smoothie cup's not that heavy, but if I were to hold it for longer and longer, it just gets heavier. Like, you know, imagine what it is to carry something for decades.
Yeah.
And imagine what a relief it would be just to put it down for a second. To say like, okay, I don't need to carry this all the time, right? Like I can rest it on something. I can lean on that support for a moment,
Mm.
and rest my arm. And then I can get back up and I can pick it up again and I can keep going.
Mm. Can we do it? Can you help us?
Yeah, well, so
Ah.
the thing is, what's really holding us back here is again ourselves, right? Like it's that discomfort of asking somebody for the
Mhm.
help that we need, right? Um it's relying on this competence as an identity trait, right? Like knowing, being the reliable one.
Yeah.
It's like our brand, right? It's like it's all we know is to be the reliable one, the one that can handle things, the one who can say like, yeah, I can do it. And we're also, whether or not we admit it, we also like the recognition or the like compliments that come with like, oh yeah, like, you know, thanks for being able to handle it all, right? Or like, thanks for taking this one for the team. Like we like the compliments or the affirmation that we get of constantly being the reliable one.
Hmm.
And so that's like the external experience that we have of it, but there's also a little bit of a resentment that we experience because we're burning under it. We're burning under all of the pressure, all of the things that we've been tasked to carry, right? And like, no, it's not heavy, but it's like one more thing that I'm putting on here that I've been carrying for however much longer. And that is where it starts to get overwhelming. And um and for me, right, like what I know about that competence for many of us high performers is that it was a survival skill that we built, right? It's how we earned approval, and it's how we continue to feel like we're being seen, we're being accepted.
Hmm.
So it's not that we're afraid to ask for help, right? It's that we're afraid of what it means to be the person who gets the help, right? Because I don't know about you, but like I remember like when we'd have group projects in like college or high school, right? Like almost always there's a person who like handles all the stuff, and then there's almost always somebody who like does nothing. And it's a group grade, right? Everybody gets the same grade. So like the person who does nothing we end up having to pull their weight. We end up having to do extra because we know we're not willing to settle for a lower grade just so that, just because somebody else is doing less, right? So in ways we're enabling that person to continue to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something about that for ourselves, right? And I'm not saying I don't know that I would be the one still who would like take the negative grade, right? Or like the lower grade just because
Yeah.
somebody else is doing that. But we want to recognize that pattern within ourselves. We want to recognize that like we're so used to being fine, carrying our load, somebody else's load, everybody else's stuff,
Yeah.
taking care of everything for everybody else, that no one actually checks to make sure that we're fine.
Oh my, it's true.
And that performance of like independence, right? Like it's not just something that we picked up right now. It's something that goes beyond the high school or the college. There were ways, maybe even as children, that we were expected to handle more than we needed to, and that we were almost praised for being able to manage that. So
Yeah.
start to look at that pattern of like where was it even in childhood? Where was it even earlier that we began to recognize this trait of like being reliable, being strong, being the good one as something that generated approval or made us lovable. Because we think that our value is in being low maintenance, but what if the most powerful thing we could do is actually allow ourselves to be taken care of?
Well, a lot of people, though, do struggle with this whole concept of asking for help, allowing people to, even when they offer. I'm one of them, and it makes me like uncomfortable. But then people are so genuine, sincere, they really want to help, and then it's like you offend them, and I'm like, okay, I am tired of doing everything alone, but then that's all I really know. And how do I react to someone? And they take it offensively because I'm not accepting their help. So it's just so. It's really hard. I don't want to do it alone, but I always try. And then you start offending the people that try to help you. I've been down that road too.
Yeah, it's what it is it's like if you can imagine that like being reliable, doing it alone is the path that you're much more comfortable with, as uncomfortable as it is to carry all that alone, it is your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. So true.
And so, like, anytime you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you are going to be in this awkward place where you don't quite know how to do things. You're gonna mess up a little bit. You're gonna offend somebody because you didn't do it right, or any of those sort of things. But that is the process of learning. That is a process of unlearning being the strong one. And the thing is, right, like it's not like we can never be that again.
Yeah.
It's more that we want to develop the other side of the skill set because just as important as it, like I know for me, I derive so much pleasure from being reliable and helpful and like supportive for other people. And it's almost as if we're robbing other people from that opportunity to feel that satisfaction when we don't let them hold us, when we don't let them care for us, when we don't let them support us in the ways that we need, even if it's just like hold my cup for a minute, right? Like, and it is I think it's one of those things too where it's like we got to learn like just because you can do it all doesn't mean that you should do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of times when I'm working with leaders, it's one of those points that I think is really important is it's like it's not just about can you do it all, it's about like can you empower your team to learn something? Can you empower other people to grow strength? Because like you doing all the things, like you're not helping yourself and you're not helping anybody else either.
Yeah. You're really not. Ugh. So tell me what we should be doing and how you're helping people let go of this and allowing them to accept the help they deserve, even if it means coming to someone like you for the help they deserve, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that what's interesting is we know that we want the help or the support or like just the break, if you will. But at the same time, we're afraid of it, right? Like so it's like We don't want to be seen as weak. We don't want to be seen like there's almost shame in taking help. We don't want to be seen as a person who like can't do it all because that is our identity, right? So like to let go of that identity of I can do it all feels scary.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like exactly what we want, right? Where like I love that you're wearing the I can't shirt today, right? And it's like you're wearing the I can't shirt, but I'm quite certain at the same time
I
you're like actually
can't,
doing so much stuff.
but that's why I'm overwhelmed and I scream, I can't do it, but I do.
Yeah, but then you do it, right? So it's like this, we're like a walking contradiction, right? We're like, I can't do this. And then we like still do it. And so we almost prove to ourselves and to others like, oh, she actually really can do it without help.
Yeah.
But the thing that happens is that like it doesn't stop us from feeling alone.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop us from feeling unsupported.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop us fe from feeling like there's nobody there for us. Like we're
Hmm.
always there for everybody else and nobody can be there for us. And the thing is, like, we're not really wanting rest
Hmm.
as much as we're wanting relief.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like when we get help, right? We feel the pressure to supervise it, to direct it, to repay it, right? Like, it's like nobody can just give us something and we can like accept it. Like, we got to give something back. Um, or like, you know, you're taking a break, for example, right? And I feel like I'm really guilty of this because like yeah, so yesterday, I think we've talked about it before, but like with my daughter's like visitation schedule, I get about 24 hours a week of like free time from the baby.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, right? Not always, but a lot of times what's most comfortable for me is to fill it with work, right? That for me is like prime time. I can focus, I can do work. So like that's how I often use that time, right? So like we're taking a break, but we're filling it with errands or service or meeting somebody else's needs instead of meeting our own, right? And that's why like yesterday was a little different for me because I was like, you know what, like what I really need right now while I was watching my daughter was like I was like I actually need the nap too. So while she was napping, I like went in there and I was like, I'm gonna nap also, right? I'm gonna take a break also. And instead of like feeling guilty or and I mean, you know, as a single mom, right? Like you have like full-time kids, plus you got to make a full-time income plus, right? There's just so much that like falls on your plate. So it feels like when you have a break, there's all these things that you should be doing.
Yeah. Like all the clutter and the piles in my house that I can't get through. And then also have a break
Yeah.
and I don't feel, and I have to, I can't lay down. I can't sit down.
Yeah. Right. So it's almost like our nervous system is in survival mode like 24/7, right? Because it's like we don't know how to be if we're not being productive. To not be productive, to have a rest day, like it's almost like, and we've talked about this in the past, in past episodes, but it's as if like feel it like getting rest feels like, okay, now I need to produce, right? Now
Yeah.
I need to do stuff. Um, we feel guilty if we don't balance the rest with productivity.
Yeah.
And what that does is it gives us a space where like we never really get like an energetic interruption, right? Where we just have space to recognize our own inherent worthiness. Like we don't need to do more in order to be worthy. We don't need to perform more, give more, do more. We are inherently worthy of rest right now. We're inherently like deserving of the relief that we're seeking. So it's not like we need another planner or a pause, right? Like we need we need to really look at the deeper patterns that are leading us towards this pattern of like never asking for help, never needing help, right? And like for me, that was one of the like major shifts that happened when I was so I had pushed past the point of burnout to the point of developing chronic illness, autoimmune disease, chronic pain. I was like, I something has to change, right? Like, yes, I can keep doing all this stuff, but if it's coming at the cost of my body, like that's not worth it anymore. And that was what kind of led me down this path of like of looking and examining these patterns that I had of continually doing for other people, of like doing what made other people happy because I could, and not always just doing what I needed to do for myself.
Yeah.
And when I created more space for personal relief, right? Where like I let other people handle things, you know, like I remember I had been gunning like so hard for a promotion at the company I was working for. Um, and like I realized I was like, you know what? They're not like I was sick, right? I was like, they're not going to promote me. Like they're not going to recognize me the way that I feel like I deserve to be recognized. And me continuing to like work harder or like give more or perform more, like they're not recognizing it. So
Yeah.
how is me doing more, working harder, performing more going to help me? Like I realized it wasn't. And when I left, they needed four people to replace the work that I did in a 40-hour work week, right? So like had they just paid me more, right, or given me the
Invested in.
promotion,
Hmm.
like it would have cost them less. But a lot of times there's not that culture in companies of like of paying those people who are the workhorses and the peak performers. And what we got to recognize is that like working harder is not always going to be the solution to get us what we want. Doing more, right? Like hard work is a part of success. But for those of us who've used it as a crutch, for those of us who like see it as our comfort zone to like constantly work, to constantly do, to constantly carry things for others, there's space for us to recognize like, where can I be carried?
Yeah.
What work can other people do for me, right? Like, so and once we start asking those questions, like there's lots of space, but then it's like, then we start to reject the help that we could get. Like, for example, like, you mentioned like the piles in your house, right? Like you could hire a cleaner.
I can't. I'm too embarrassed. But it's I have so much stuff to put away before they clean. It doesn't make sense. They would come. It just then I'd be like, oh my gosh! But yeah, I need to clean before they clean.
Right. But like, even that, right, is like part of the mindset of
That's
like,
the mm-hmm.
okay, maybe you need somebody to organize before you clean. So maybe you need an
Yes.
organizer, right? But it's like,
Yes.
no, no, but I want to put all the pieces like exactly where I want them. They might put them in places that like, so like there's this control again.
Control issue with my stuff.
Yeah. And part of it too points to a lot for a lot of us, like there was probably a time in our childhood where we felt out of control and felt really unsafe. And so maintaining control or like finding ways to like grasp onto control does feel safe for us. So even if the control is chaos, right? Like at
Yep.
least we're in control of the chaos type of thing. Um,
Exactly.
and so like when I work with clients, a lot of times it's about like beginning to look at and unpack these patterns that are ultimately keeping us from what we want. Like we want the clean home, we want the support, we want the success, right? We want to grow the team, we want to expand our business or whatever that kind of looks like, or we want to get the recognition we want. And yet we're also doing things to stop us from getting what it is that we want. And so
Yeah.
like when I host private retreats or when I'm coaching my clients, that is a lot of what we talk about is like, okay, like what is it you want? What are the steps that you can take there? And then starting to realize like, oh no, no, here's the roadblock I'm putting up against that. Here's the roadblock I'm putting up against this, right? And we start to see like, okay, what is that roadblock about, right? Because what I
Yeah.
believe is that our dreams are here to like help us to expand and grow. It's about the person we become through the process of pursuing the dream and achieving even more than we've ever known was possible for us. And the only way that we can really do that, especially when the goals have been elusive in the past, is to experience this shift in becoming, this shift in being, in like letting go of the stuff that hasn't served us up until now,
Yeah.
and that we're just holding on to. That's like, like that is that dead weight, because some of the things that we're carrying that's made us a strong one, like those are very valuable things. But there's stuff that we're carrying from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago that we don't need to carry anymore. That we just are so afraid of letting go because it's become ingrained as part of our identity. It's become we don't know how to live without it almost. It's almost like if you think of that little kid um who has their like a security blanket, right? Like being the
Hmm.
strong one is our security blanket in a way. And we are afraid that if we let go of it for just a moment, we won't be the same person or the strong one anymore. And I think what happens is that we actually can discover how to become the stronger one.
Yeah.
So it's not about letting go of the strong one to be the weak one. This is about like becoming even stronger, about being even more empowered, about being able to get even more done. And when I'm working with my clients to help them shift that paradigm, a lot of times I'm helping them to realize and to like stay connected to who they truly want to be so that they can have what they truly want to have. And in that process, break those barriers that have been holding them back for decades.
My gosh. Well, thank you so much for this. And in our last 3 minutes together, let's kind of sum up today's conversation and, the benefits of working with someone to help you let go of that.
Yeah, so managing tasks, you've already mastered. But what's harder to master is asking for space to be held and to fall apart a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're the strong one, it doesn't feel possible to show any weakness.
Yeah.
And that makes me think about like so that was definitely like the way my siblings saw me when I was a kid was like I was the one who went to like the best schools, like got into the best schools, like was the smart one, right? Like it seemed for my siblings almost like I was the strong one. I was the untouchable one. Like there was nothing that I could do that like could happen to me that I couldn't handle. So a lot of times, like, like even in difficult times, they didn't know how to reach out to me or like help me, right? Like, they were like, oh, you can do this, right? They're like, they just encourage me and be like, I know you can do it. Um, and when I became a single mom or when I was pregnant, my now ex-husband left, and I decided I wanted to keep the baby, which meant that I would be figuring out how to be a single mom. It was after I did all the, like some of this personal development work. I remember like for the first time ever, like telling them, I was like, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be a single mom. I don't know how I'm going to make ends meet.
Mm,
And like in that space, right, of moving out of like the competence, right? Like showing the space where I was vulnerable and scared or like just overwhelmed and exhausted. My siblings showed up for me. My mom and my dad, my family, my like inherited family here in Hawaii, like they showed up for me. They were like, "Let me carry this for you. Let me do that for you." Like I remember like there've been so many times for example, I've paid for like lunch or dinner or whatever for my siblings and they were like, "Here, let me treat you." Right? Let me do this for you. And it was uncomfortable to receive at first, but like that's part of the growth process, right? Because our competence, it's become a cage for us. And it's a showing of like, I'm not sure how. I do want the care. That's what's
yeah.
ultimately the most powerful thing that we can do. And what we realize, even as I was mentioning, right? Like I am a single mother. There's a whole lot of things that I do alone, but there's a whole lot that I don't need to do alone. So
Yeah.
when we look for this opportunity to connect with community, when we look for this opportunity to create what it is that we really want, right? Like asking for help, like being there for others and allowing them to be there for ourselves instead of just being there for everybody else and like telling everybody we can't, we don't need the help. Like there's something that's really profound about that. And like, yeah, I live here in Hawaii alone. Like, my family all lives on the mainland somewhere. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been able to cultivate community here locally in Hawaii, but also like my family, we're closer than ever before. So imagine if you softening, if you becoming the stronger one, because that's what's happening if you let go of being the strong one.
Yeah.
If you becoming the stronger one, if it meant like better relationships, better friendships, like deeper relationships with your family, like I didn't
Yeah.
know that could happen just by me saying like I don't know how to do this. I'm scared. But that's exactly what showed up for me. And it's about taking that leap of saying, like, I don't know how, I need help. I'm scared. I don't know how to do this. I feel like I'm failing where you give people space to lift you
Mm-hmm.
up and to pay you back for all the times that you helped them and that you supported them through their darkest nights.
Got it. Aw. Thank you for that. How do we contact you, darling?
Yeah, you can find my website, www.savorlifewithdiana.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok at Diana Bejasa Speaks. That's DianaBejasa Speaks. And yeah, again, the website, www.savorlifewithdiana.com. That's SAVOR, lifewithdiana.com. Because I believe that bitter, salty, sour, we deserve to add richness, depth, and sweetness so that we can create a life that we truly savor.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hope you have a fantastic day, Diana. Great talking to you. And thank you again for being our professional of the year and being so awesome. Thank you for your advice. Have a great day, sweetheart.
Thanks, Jill.
Bye, honey.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.